Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're ready for this. Nez and I are back for another saga. Today we're reading a sister-in-law wedding saga that looks super interesting. Might be a bit of a longer episode too, I'm not sure yet. I'm not very good at judging how long the episodes are gonna be, but it's definitely gonna be an adventure. As always, subscribe if you want to, and let's get into this. Am I the a-hole for wanting to uninvite my sister-in-law from my wedding because she keeps on undermining my wedding planning? And this was 10 months ago. Sorry, even after removing some stuff, this turned out to be real long. Throwaway account, so hopefully Kayla doesn't find this. My fiance Nate, 27 male, and I, 26 female, have been together for almost 3 years. He proposed to me about 6 months ago, and shortly after we found out that I was pregnant. Congratulations! We are planning on having our wedding in the spring of next year. Nate has a twin sister, 27 female, who we'll call Kayla. Nate and I announced our engagement and my pregnancy at the same time. We made a cute little Facebook post with a couple of engagement pictures and an ultrasound photo that said something along the lines of, "The Smith family is going to have 2 new additions." Kayla commented almost immediately that we'll have to wait until next year to actually get married because she looks best in fall colours, and as my maid of honour, she'll get a say in choosing bridesmaids' dresses. I literally stared at my phone screen wondering if I read something wrong. I showed the comment to Nate and I asked him why she thought she would be my maid of honour. He had no clue. So I texted her and this is how that exchange went. "Hey Kayla, I see that you saw our announcement on Facebook. Thank you for being ready to step up for me, but we haven't started working out wedding logistics yet, and I haven't picked my bridesmaids, much less my maid of honour. Once we have more details of the wedding worked out, we'll let you know." Kayla responded, "Well, you don't have to choose a maid of honour anymore. I'm your maid of honour." Oh, okay, so she's being serious. I thought she might have been joking with the Facebook post, but no, she's not joking. OP says, "I don't understand, I never asked you to be." Kayla responded, "You don't have to ask. That's what makes me such a good sister." Me, "I'm sorry, you're not my maid of honour." Kayla, "We'll see about that." Oh my god, so threatening for no reason. "We'll see about that. What are you, an evil villain?" "Yes, we'll see about that, won't we?" Like, what does she have planned? How is she going to make sure that she's the maid of honour if you don't want her to be? I showed these messages to Nate, who said that he would deal with it. I have no idea what the extent of their conversation was, but Kayla never brought up being my maid of honour again. She just reared her ugly attitude in different ways. Here we go. As of now, Nate and I have booked the venues, the caterer, the florals, decorations, and the DJ already. A couple of months ago, I invited mine and Nate's mothers, along with my sister Sam, who I asked to be my maid of honour, to do some dress shopping. Kayla found out from her mum and invited herself to tag along. She invited herself, how lovely. We started by looking for a dress for Sam. I wanted my bridesmaids in a pretty pastel yellow, but Sam's going to be more golden. Kayla would not shut up about how yellow is such an ugly colour and I should go with pink or blue instead. She even grabbed a bunch of pink and blue dresses to try on herself. I tried my best to ignore her while her mother entertained her bizarre ideas. Sam and my mother were making constant comments about how it's my wedding, and if Kayla isn't going to be helpful, she should just leave. Unfortunately, she didn't, and I'm too nice to kick her out in front of my mother-in-law, who I already have a strained relationship with. I can already tell there's going to be so much drama in this episode. Our mothers were able to shop for their dresses with little interference from Kayla, but as soon as I started trying things on, she had all sorts of things to say. She would tell me that certain styles wouldn't look good once I had a baby bod, and even told me that I should consider not wearing white since I'm obviously not a virgin. I told her she wasn't a virgin when she got married either, yet she still wore an adorable white sundress to the courthouse. She grumbled about how that wasn't the same, but I was already halfway back to the changing room. I still don't know what happened while I was in there, but when I came out, Kayla and mother-in-law were gone, and Sam had a smug smile on her face. I never discussed any details of the wedding with Kayla if I could help it, but I've heard Nate sharing some of our plans with her. He told her that we're planning on a buffet-style meal because we have a lot of dietary restrictions in our family, and that was the cheapest way to accommodate everybody. Literally like a few $1,000 difference. And she told him that he deserved somebody who wouldn't go cheap on his wedding. Wow, the audacity. Even though the buffet was his idea. He told her about our venue choices. He picked the reception venue. I picked the ceremony venue, which is the same place that my parents got married. My father passed away, and since he can't walk me down the aisle, I always wanted to get married in the same place that he married my mum. to sort of feel like he was there with us. Yeah, that's beautiful, OP. She told Nate that my venue choice was tacky and people would make fun of us. Wow, so insufferable. When he mentioned that he wanted a DJ, she made a comment about how she knew that I wasn't classy enough to want a live band. Each and every time that she would make comments like this, Nate would tell her that they were his ideas, but not call her out for how she spoke about me, which I do feel a little bit hurt by. Yeah, he should be shutting down this crap for sure. I've expressed this to him and he told me that he would try to do better about calling her out, but that she's just always been this way. I told him that's no excuse for her to be disrespectful and stick her nose into business that doesn't concern her. Yeah, 100%. He hesitantly agreed. Yeah, don't put up with it just because she's always been the same. That doesn't make it any better. We read stuff like that all the time. Like, oh well, they've always been awful, so we just put up with them. It's just how they are, they suck. Like, no, he should be shutting it down. Or at least trying. On Friday, I got an email from the venue for our ceremony confirming our cancellation and asking if we needed to reschedule. Shortly after that, I got a voicemail from our caterer explaining that my new wedding planner had just called. She's calling herself the wedding planner? Oh my god. But the line had dropped and was wondering if I could pass along her phone number so they could finish going over changes to the menu. Kayla's calling them and pretending to be the wedding planner. Oh my god. I immediately emailed the venue back saying that no, we're not cancelling or rescheduling. Please keep our original date on the books. I called the caterer who explained that a woman had called and said that she was my new wedding planner. She had said that I wanted to make some changes to the contract, namely switching from a buffet style to plated meals. I told him that this was not the case. I do not have a wedding planner and please do not make any changes unless contacted by me or Nate directly, with the contact information that we have on file. The caterer suggested putting a password on file also. He said that he wouldn't make any changes unless the person requesting them knew the password. I called both the venues and all of our other vendors to put in place the same type of precautions. They all gave their sympathies for me having to deal with this. Oh, that is so frustrating. Like in the Step Monster Saga, where the OP was having a baby shower, I think it was, and the evil stepmother went in there and made everything completely different, tried to make everything the way that she wanted it to be, without telling them in the hopes that they'd just go along with it. It's the exact same here. Kayla's calling up pretending to be the wedding planner, trying to make everything the way that she wants it. I really hope that Nate does something about this. When Nate got home from work, I confronted him about it. I told him somebody tried to cancel my venue and change our catering. I told him the only person it could be is Kayla. He tried to deny it and say that she wouldn't do it, but I reminded him of how she's undermined and insulted me during every step of this engagement. Yeah, what are you talking about, Nate? We don't even know this Kayla person and it's already so obvious that she would do that. I told him that I wanted her uninvited. I won't give somebody who's already done so much to make this wedding stressful the opportunity to do something like show up in white. He fought me on this, but I basically told him that I felt disrespected by him over how he's allowing Kayla to treat me. Yeah, I'm his partner and the mother of his child. My feelings and comfort should be more important to him than his sister's childish antics. Yeah, please tell me that Nate gets it together. We met with her for lunch earlier today, and once we got dessert, he asked her if she was trying to make changes to our wedding plans. She said, and I quote, "Well, yeah. It's the maid of honor's job to make sure the bride is making the right decisions." Wow. Before Nate could even say anything, I told her she's not my maid of honor, and even if she was, that would not give her the authority to undermine my decisions and make changes to the wedding plans and budget behind our backs. She said that she didn't see what the big deal was, since her grandmother had offered us a pretty large chunk of change as a present to help pay for the wedding. I told her again, the wedding budget's none of her business. She tried to argue, but I just cut her off. I told her that her behaviour regarding our wedding thus far has been nothing but disrespectful and insulting. I told her trying to cancel my venue had crossed the line, and she's no longer invited to the wedding. She seemed absolutely shocked by this. Yeah, I can only imagine. Like, what? There's a consequence for this? No. She looked at Nate, waiting for him to defend her, and then he did? Nate, what are you doing? He looked at me and said, "Why don't we give her one more chance?" Because she doesn't deserve another chance, Nate. I asked if he was kidding and he said no, that Kayla was only doing what she thought was best for us. Bro, if you believe that she's trying to do what's best for you guys, you are delusional. And now that we've told her that it wasn't okay, we should give her a chance to correct her behaviour. I didn't even respond, I just got up and left. I went and I got in my car and I drove home thinking to myself, if he wanted to side with his sister, then he could rely rely on her to get home. I ignored him trying to get a hold of me. Once at home, I packed a small bag and I left for Sam's house. I told her everything and she told me I could stay as long as I needed to. But now she's at work for the night and that's where I am now. Trying to process what just happened. Trying to figure out when I became second place in Nate's life. Yeah. Trying to figure out if there's any way to fix what he just broke in me. He keeps on switching between asking where I am, telling me that he didn't think this was that big of a deal, and apologizing and asking me to come home and talk. I don't feel ready to talk to him just yet. I'm still too upset and I feel like I'll do or say something that I'll regret, like call off the wedding altogether. I just told all of my vendors that we aren't cancelling the wedding, but right now I kind of want to. I don't know if it's my hormones making me feel crazy or if I'm valid in how hurt I'm feeling. No, your feelings are very valid, OP. I just don't know what to do or what to think. So am I the a-hole for not wanting to give her a second chance? Absolutely not. Or is my fiance right that she deserves a chance to prove herself before she's uninvited from the wedding altogether? You are so not the a-hole, OP, and your fiance needs to prove himself. The top comment says you're in the right, and I think a wedding cancellation or at least delay is in order until he can show that you come before his sister. His sister tried to change the venue that was meaningful for you because it was a reminder of your father. To cancel that over anything else is not just over the line, but it's cruel. You gave him many chances to get her in line and he failed. One thing I would recommend if you do go forward with him is that when meeting with her, let him take the lead, even if you don't agree with what he's saying. It'll be the biggest indicator of his mindset and ensures that she doesn't and can't blame you for boundaries that he's placing. And OP responded, "Thank you. He keeps on saying that I just don't know her well enough to know that all of her comments and jokes are harmless." They're not jokes and it's not harmless. Nate, that's straight up delusional. But this one wasn't just a comment. She actually tried to cancel my venue. I honestly couldn't care less about the catering. That one was just weird. But my venue was special. It was too far. Her comments and jokes are harmless. No, they're not. And also, where were the jokes? Her calling up the wedding venue pretending to be your wedding planner? Changing stuff? Is that meant to be a joke? Where's the joke? No doubt Kayla is just jealous and cruel. And at the moment, OP, your fiance Nate is spineless. Hopefully it gets better in this saga and hopefully there's a happy ending. We can always hope. Okay, update number 1, that was also 10 months ago. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who read my original post and offered their judgments and advice. Writing this out really helped me process what I was feeling, and hearing that I wasn't overreacting or just being hormonal from people that are removed from the situation was very comforting. I read every single comment and there's no way to express how much all the kind words meant to me. There were lots and lots of comments asking for an update, but I wanted to wait until after I talked to Nate. I spent last night at Sam's house and mostly ignored Nate's texts and calls. Kayla texted me once also telling me to not let my hormones make me irrational. Kayla, you think that OP's being irrational? I just blocked her, but somebody advised to unblock and just silence her notifications, just in case she escalates so I could maybe use that in court for my custody case. I did unblock her earlier today and I'm glad that I did, but we'll get there. I cannot wait to read the rest of this. I replied to Nate at one point last night telling him that I was safe at Sam's house and that I'd be home tomorrow, today after work, to talk about everything. I expressed again that I was feeling really hurt about not being heard or backed up by him, and that I needed time to decide what I wanted to do. He asked me what I meant by that, if I meant cancelling the wedding altogether. I told him that's exactly what I was considering. His reply? Don't let your hormones make you do something irrational. We'll talk tomorrow. So he said the exact same thing that Kayla said? So do you think that he's been talking to Kayla about this and that's where he got that line from? Anyone else want to take a guess as to where he got that line? Yeah, that just about made my decision for me. I didn't reply, not even when he texted me goodnight, I love you. Instead, before I went to bed for the night, I sent him a link to my post. Good job, OP. And I told him to read through it before we talk. Someone said that he probably sent it to Kayla too. If she did read it, she hasn't commented, and if she texted me about it, it was while I had her blocked. Wow, OP sent the post to him. OP's doing such a good job. This morning I called into work and I had breakfast with Sam. She gave me the number of a family lawyer that a friend used for his custody case. I spoke to the assistant, I explained my situation, and luckily she had a slot open after lunch for an initial consult. So I took a shower and I basically just kept on reading through the comments on my post until it was time to talk talk to her. I told the lawyer exactly why I'm leaving Nate, and how I'm terrified over how his sister would influence him with our baby. That I don't trust him to not be influenced by Kayla and to have our baby's best interest in mind. So I want to fight for sole custody and supervised visitation. I told her if possible, I want to include something that restricts Kayla from having any contact with my child. I'm already mentally preparing to have to fight Nate in court because I know he'll not agree to any of this. My lawyer told me that while my concerns are valid, it may be difficult to convince a judge to put a contract restriction in the custody order based on family drama alone. She advised me to document everything Kayla has done and anything moving forward so that we can present it to the judge if and when we end up in court. She gave me a list of things to think about, like if I want Nate to get any custody at all or just visitation, how I want to handle things like medical care or education for my child, if I want to put communication restrictions, like only talking over text, lots of things I never would have thought of and never thought I'd have to think of. We were supposed to do all of this together. She told me to take a few days to gather my thoughts and decide on what I want. I scheduled an in-person meeting for this Friday to go over everything. Hopefully I'll have my mind straight by then, but if anybody has any advice when it comes to what to put on these custody papers, I'm all ears. After the phone call with my lawyer, I checked some more comments and then I took a much needed nap. When I woke up, I had a text from Nate asking me what time I'd be off work so that he could have dinner ready for me when I got home. I told him that I'd be there around 5, but if Kayla was there, I'll be turning around and leaving without a word. I then asked him if he read the post I sent him. He said, I did, but I'd rather talk to you than read you bash me and my sister on the internet with a bunch of strangers. Don't worry, I told Kayla that she's not welcome. This pissed me off beyond belief. Clearly he either didn't read the post or still doesn't realise how truly in the wrong they are. Either way, I lost all motivation to try and talk to work things out. I'm just done. I'd rather talk to you than read you bash me and my sister on the internet with a bunch of strangers. So you missed the entire point, did you, dude? Or did you not read it at all? Oh, that's so frustrating. I texted him, don't worry about dinner. All I'll be doing is gathering some more things and dropping off my lawyer's contact info. There's nothing more for us to discuss. He asked me what I meant, what lawyer, and told me that he's been waiting to talk about this. All I said was fine. Sam wished me luck before I left and assured me that I was welcome back once we were done talking. I told her I absolutely would be back and thanked her for everything so far. Then I stopped and I got one of those boba refreshers from Starbucks to calm my nerves before I went home. When I got home, Nate had dinner ready just like he said. I ignored him and I went straight to our room to pack up some more of my clothes and toiletries. He tried asking me if I really wasn't going to talk to him, but I just ignored him for the time being. Just seeing his face made my anger flare up and I wanted to be smart about our discussion. After a while, he gave up and just went to eat in the dining room. When I was finished, I went and sat down with him at the table, but didn't touch any of the food. I started a voice memo on my phone before I said, go ahead. He looked at me all confused, so I told him that he was the one that wanted to talk and must have so much to say, so go ahead. He stumbled over his words for a while, but ultimately started off with an apology, trying to tell me that he didn't realise that I was so upset with Kayla's behaviour. I asked him if he remembered how hard I cried after I got home from dress shopping because of her comments about my choices and my body. If he remembered having to talk to her about not being my maid of honour. If he remembered our conversation just a few days ago where I told him cancelling my venue that held so much sentiment to me was way too far over the line. He said that he did each time and tried to add a but to argue, but I just cut him off with my next example. I told him that after all that, he 100% should have known that I was beyond done with her bullshit. I told him I was so hurt and pissed that I wanted her uninvited, but he wanted to give her another chance. Tell what? Cancel our DJ and book a live band? Dye my hair red or show up in white herself? He told me that she would never do that. She 100% would. I told him he told me that she would never cancel my venue, but then she admitted to it in front of our faces. Yeah. I told him I don't trust his opinion on his sister, and that he's just as delusional as she is if he thinks that she'll change. Yes, straight up delusional. Like, open your eyes to what's in front of you. She 100% would show up in white. I asked him why he even told her so many details of our wedding anyway. Why does her opinion of our wedding even matter? He tried to tell me that because Kayla didn't get to have a real wedding when she got married. She was just a little too excited about ours. A little too excited. That's not what this is. She's cruel and she's jealous of your wedding, so that's why she did that stuff. I told him she has all the right in the world to be excited, but that does not give her any right to insult or change our choices regarding what we want for our wedding. She'll have plenty of opportunities to have a real wedding. If she could stop for 2 seconds and take her nose out of our wedding business, she could go out and find a man man or woman to marry herself. Poor soul, whoever that may be. I asked him what's next. She gets to name our baby since she lost her own? The look on his face made my stomach feel hollow. He told me, and I quote, "Actually, Kayla does have a few ideas for what we could name our daughter." Is he even listening? Daughter? Side note, I'd mentioned in a comment previously that we're waiting to be surprised about the gender of our baby. We were discussing baby names and had settled on the top 3 for each gender. We agreed to keep them to ourselves until the baby's born. He's just proving over and over again that Kayla's more important to him than OP. Well, actually, Kayla does have a few ideas of what we could name our daughter. What are you talking about, dude? He's 100% siding with Kayla the entire time, and still is. I asked him if he said daughter, and he looked at me like a deer caught in my headlights. He backtracked, but I pressed the issue. I asked him flat out if he knows the gender of our baby. He hesitated, but ultimately confessed to remembering that I filled out an information release form at my first obstetrics visit, so he called the office and asked them for the results of our gender scan, claiming that we changed our minds and that he was going to do a reveal for me. I feel absolutely sick and violated. I asked him what the he was thinking. He said Kayla was feeling left out since Sam was planning my baby shower and not including her, and that she just couldn't wait to find out. So he found out so that he could tell Kayla. Are you serious? I demanded he tell me everything. What else is he going behind my back to do? Did he give her the idea to pretend to be our wedding planner? Was he the one that had her cancel my venue and change our catering? He tried to tell me no, of course not. She did all that on her own. But I could tell that he was lying. He absolutely put her up to all of this. What? At that point, I didn't even care why he did it. It's clear that none of our decisions will ever actually be ours. He will always do whatever the hell he wants to and get Kayla to back him up. I don't even want to think about how many of our decisions in the past were completely undermined and changed by these two. I asked him if Kayla came to him and told him everything I'm telling him, that she doesn't feel supported by her partner, that her partner went behind her back to learn the gender of their baby without her, that her partner was retroactively changing every decision that they'd agreed upon, that her partner was letting their sibling bully her relentlessly. What would he say to her? He didn't have a response, and honestly, if he did, I didn't want to hear it anymore. I knew the answer. I told him that as the woman who's supposed to be his wife, me and the baby I'm carrying should be his top priority, not his twin sister. I said him going behind my back like this for something as important as the gender of our baby is absolutely unforgivable. There's nothing that he can do to say or fix this now. I told him that I'll no longer be marrying him, but it's up to him if he wants to cancel all the vendors. I said you're more than welcome to use it all to marry Kayla, seeing as she's the one you obviously care the most about. Yeah, this is awful. Even more awful than it seemed. He tried to backtrack and apologize and explain, but every time I just cut him off and told him that I'd heard enough and my mind was made up. There's no going back now. If he wants to have even the slimmest chance to get me back and have a real relationship with our baby, he'll need to attend some serious therapy and do a lot of work on himself and his relationship with Kayla. I told him no woman in her right mind would ever marry him while he was this enmeshed with her. I told him that any contact moving forward is going to be through a lawyer. I want nothing to do with his family, and if I get what I want, they'll have nothing to do with my daughter, because I'll be damned if I let him subject her to this treatment. OP, you are doing so well. I put my lawyer's name and phone number on the table and I walked out. He didn't try to follow me. So now on top of dealing with my lawyer for the custody case, do I have to file a complaint with my obstetrics office? Are they allowed to just give him this information without my express consent? Or did me stupidly putting him on the information release form that I signed give them blanket consent to share any and all information with him? God, I didn't think this could get any worse, but I guess that's on me for being naive. I'm glad that I recorded the conversation though, and I got him admitting to doing all of this. I don't know how or if it's going to help my custody case, but I sent it to my lawyer with a note that we can discuss more on Friday. I'm back at Sam's place now. She was already at work when I got back, but I texted her to wake me up when she gets home. I need my sister. I also called my mum and told her everything that's happened so far. She cried with me for a while and then asked me if I needed her to do anything. I asked her if she'd be willing to go to the house with Sam and get the rest of my stuff, because I do not want to see Nate right now. Just picturing his face is making me feel sick. She said she's more than willing. Kayla did text me again. Oh, here we go. I'm assuming Nate talked to her after that. It was a very long, cruel message that I don't want to repeat here. I can only imagine I can post a screenshot if anybody cares for the whole message, if I can figure out how to attach one. But to summarize, she just called me a delusional control freak who can't let Nate make any decisions for himself, and insulted my venue choice once again. And then she said that she hopes my baby is stillborn because I don't deserve to be a mother. What a horrible person. Honestly, after reading it, I thought the message would hurt, but it just gave me a really good laugh. I took a screenshot and I sent it to my lawyer as well. And that's where we're at. The wedding's off. I'll call all the vendors tomorrow and see if we can get any deposits back. If not, I'll let them know to contact Nate and Kayla to see if they'd like to keep things as planned. Let them have a party for all I care. But I will be cancelling my venue regardless of my refund. Neither of them are going to step foot in that sacred place if I can help it. I didn't realise how much I was letting this weigh on me until now. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, even though a new one is settling very quick. Writing everything out like this is so freaking helpful for me to process how I'm feeling and what I need to do. I don't know if I'll keep on doing formal updates, but for anybody who's interested, maybe I'll just treat this profile like a little journal as all of this unfolds. Thank you again to everybody for all of your advice and for showing me that I'm not crazy. Wow, this is even worse than I thought. Nate's sister said that she hopes that his baby is stillborn, and somehow he'll still side with her, and she's calling OP delusional. Oh my god. How vile. Yeah, that's actually revolting what Kayla said. And Nate will probably just still support her. And also, Nate never apologized for not doing anything. Didn't he just say that he didn't realize how much it was upsetting OP? Did he ever say, oh, I'm sorry for not standing up for you at all, and I'm sorry for siding with my evil sister? And that bit where he said that Kayla had ideas for the names, that made it seem like he wasn't even listening to OP. Like, actually, Kayla does have some ideas for baby names. For our daughter, that you didn't even know was our daughter, that I went behind your back to get the information because Kayla wanted to know. Christ. This comment says his sister just couldn't wait to find out the gender. She felt left out of your baby shower, so he went behind your back to find out the baby's gender. Then of course he told her and she has some ideas for your child's name. This is the most messed up stuff I've ever heard. And for her to wish your baby was stillborn is truly evil. I'm so sorry that you're dealing with this. Yes, straight up evil. Okay, so the next update says mental health update, and that was also 10 months ago. Well, it's been a week since I posted my original problem, and I now apparently have over 1 million views and 2,000 comments combined over both posts. I know that's not a crazy amount, but this is the most I've ever gotten on anything I've posted on any social media profile that I have, so this feels crazy. I've also got messages that my posts have made it to both YouTube and TikTok, and I listen to Reddit podcasts, so I knew that there was a chance for my story to be taken and posted elsewhere. I just genuinely did not expect it to be. Not sure how I feel about this post about my life falling apart being the one to make the rounds on social media, but it is what it is. I know some people said they followed me to keep up with me if I decided to post anything more. I've been getting lots of advice to not post any details regarding plans that'll affect my custody case, and I have no intention of that, but my therapist and lawyer agreed that keeping a journal for processing my thoughts and plans and emotions is a good idea. And my therapist said that the sense of community that I've gotten from Reddit during my initial posts could be really helpful as I navigate this journey in the next few months. So with that being said, if there's anybody that's interested in reading these random posts and mental health updates that probably don't make any sense, then feel free to come along this journey with me, and if you want to share some kind words of support, then I'd truly appreciate it. After my post last week, Sam, my mum and I got to work. I reached out to the therapist that I saw after my father passed and asked her if she had any openings. Luckily, she had a cancellation, so I was able to see her yesterday. She remembered me, so we spent some time catching up, and then I gave her a brief rundown of everything that's been going on. She reminded me to make sure that I'm eating and taking all my necessary vitamins. Thankfully, Sam has been a blessing when it comes to helping me make sure that I'm taking care of myself. She told me that it's so easy to get wrapped up in all the things I've lost and the changes that are happening, so she gave me a notepad that she told me to use at the end of each day, specifically for writing down something that I did that day that I'm proud of, or excited for, or something like that. She said it's to help my headspace stay positive and to keep me from dwelling on the negative. All in all, I'm doing okay. Well, as okay as anybody in my situation could be doing, right now. I luckily have a massive support system that's just growing and growing each day. My mum's been coming over every other day, and she always brings me one of those boba drinks from Starbucks when she comes. Is anybody else as obsessed with them as I am? Or is it just a pregnancy thing? Over the last week, I've been feeling like a giant weight is being slowly lifted off my shoulders. And even though a new one is settling down, it feels more manageable than the last one. I wanted to say another huge thank you to everybody who read my initial post and update. I truly don't think I would have had the strength to get through this last week if it wasn't for all the kindness and support that I received from strangers on the internet. The advice that I got was honestly next level and full of things that I never would have thought of. Even though I didn't respond to everybody, I did try to read through every single comment on both of my posts. My update popped off a lot faster than the original, so I might have missed some there, but I've definitely read every comment on my original post. If you sent me messages but I didn't respond, please know that I've read them. I've just been really overwhelmed, the good kind I promise, with all of the outreach that I'm receiving. It just really isn't possible for me to respond to every person. So just thank you again to everybody that read about my troubles, to everybody that offered great advice, to everyone that didn't have advice but just offered support, to everyone that just followed along quietly. Thank you for just being there and helping me feel a little less alone right now. It's looking good, and OP's in therapy, which is super good. OP's doing such a good job of this. There are still 5 more updates in this saga. I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully it's all good and hopefully a happy ending. This has already been such an adventure. I cannot believe Kayla and Nate. The next post says life update, and that was 9 months ago. Hey everybody, Sam commented a couple of days ago and mentioned an update. I can't believe it's been 3 weeks since my last one already. Time really flies when you're getting done, I guess. My little girl will be here by the end of August, and I don't know if I'm more excited or nervous and anxious, but I do know that I'm optimistic that things will go in my favor. We have all of our ducks in a row, and I couldn't have asked for everything to go more smoothly than it already has. It almost doesn't feel real. Almost like I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll be back where I was a month ago, scrambling to make plans that I'm not sure aren't gonna pan out. But they did pan out, and the future's looking brighter. Oh, this is amazing. I feel like we are gonna have a happy ending. Sam continues to be an absolute godsend with how much she's taken on to help me out. My mum too, although she has some of her own stuff to figure out, so she does what she can. I still can't give a lot of details about what's been going on, but I'm excited to tell you all this. We just had what was supposed to be my bachelorette weekend, and without giving too many details away, it was an absolute blast. All of my friends and family showed up to help and support thanks to Sam and my mum coordinating everything. It was a mix of work and fun, but nobody would let me lift a finger for anything. We kind of did my baby shower on Friday, everybody brought their gifts and we played a few silly baby themed games. On Saturday, all of my girlfriends pitched in and booked me a full service prenatal appointment at a spa. So while they all helped Sam do all the stressful stuff, I got a massage and facial and mani-pedi, and they washed my hair and massaged my scalp. I didn't even know that one place could do all that. Saturday night, everybody surprised me with a gorgeous white maternity gown. All my girlfriends got dressed up in yellow dresses. We hadn't quite ordered the bridesmaids' dresses, luckily, and Sam put on the gold dress that she would have worn to the wedding. We went to a nearby park and did a little maternity photo shoot. I have to say, I haven't felt more relaxed and beautiful since Christmas of last year, which was right before I found out that I was pregnant. Honestly, I wanted to happy cry, but it would have ruined the makeup Sam did for me. This is so beautiful. Sunday night, everybody pitched in for a hotel room for Sam and I. We spent the night eating pizza and swimming at the pool. A few of my friends were posting stories to their Snapchat and Instagram, and I was worried that Kayla might somehow see and show up to ruin the end of the weekend, but there was no appearance from her. That's good, and guaranteed she would have seen it, and she would have been sitting there being bitter about it. I actually have not spoken to her or Nate since my last update, but even though I haven't heard from her directly, I've been told that Kayla is still very vocal about me to anybody who will listen. Fortunately, Nate has mostly backed off. There's always a chance that he'll change his mind and come start some more drama, but as of right now, I'm confident that he'll keep his distance. So that's where we're at as far as information I can share. There's so much more that I know the internet will be dying to hear, but unfortunately, that probably can't happen for another couple of months. But I've been basically writing the update for the last month, so as soon as it's safe to post, I'll be sharing everything. I want to again say a huge thank you to everybody who's following along with me through this. I know it's absolutely unbelievably insane, but like I've said before, knowing that I have this large community of strangers on the internet on top of the huge group of people that showed up for me this weekend makes this entire entire chapter of my life all that much more bearable. So thank you. My next update probably won't be until my sweet little girl finally makes her appearance. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later though, because my back is really killing me. Wow, that's so amazing, OP. We'll get straight into that update in a second. But yeah, Kayla going around and telling everybody who will listen about OP. Like, what is Kayla possibly even saying? OP hasn't done anything wrong. So unbelievably toxic. And OP's going to be so much better off. I'm so happy that OP got out of there. The next update says baby is here, and that was 8 months ago. Hi, I just wanted to pop in real quick and let you all know that baby's here. It's been about a week and we're home settling in. When my little one finally decided to make her appearance, it was a long, stressful labour that ended in a C-section to avoid the potential for further complications. But she made it healthy and strong, 6 pounds and 9 ounces, 19.5 inches. You'll all be pleased to know that she was given my top choice of first and middle name, and she has my last name. All the legal paperwork is underway, but I still can't really give updates on that just yet. For those who may have reached out to me privately, you already know that I'm very optimistic about how things will go. Hopefully I'll be back soon to give you all that update. It's sitting in my notes just waiting to be shared. Thank you all so much again for sticking with me. I feel so inclined. I'd love to hear about something good that's happening for you right now. Share the good vibes. Wow, congratulations OP. That's so beautiful. Okay, let's get straight into the next major update. This one is called Final Update and it was 7 months ago. And there are still 2 more updates after this one. As I said in my life update, I've pretty much been writing and editing this update for months, so hopefully it makes sense. I did my best to keep everything chronological. So after I posted my original post and once I decided to leave Nate for good, it became apparent that I needed to hightail it out of state. So many people had a lot of good advice for this, and I swear I couldn't have done it without you. Sam and I got to work pretty much immediately. I called my manager at work, who already had a very brief understanding of the situation, and asked who to talk to about options for relocating to a different office and taking leave until after my baby's born. Without going into too much detail, I was able to use up my benefits to still get 2 weeks of leave paid, and I was essentially approved for my maternity leave indefinitely. I basically just needed to contact my boss at the new office once my baby's born, and at that point we worked out my start date. Sam had just graduated this past May and was looking for a job in her field, so she transitioned her search to the city that my new office is in, and had a lot more luck than she did locally. And while it's not ideal, it's something for her to have now and gain relevant experience while she keeps on looking for her dream job. My mum also moved with us. She got to work selling her house and is currently staying with Sam and I. She has an apartment lined up and will be moving out once I go back to work and can cover my portion of the bills again. The day after I cut things off with Nate, I called all the vendors that I'd paid deposits to, my venue, the caterer and the DJ. The caterer and the venue were very understanding, seeing as they'd already been dragged into this mess before. The venue had no problem returning my deposit because they already had somebody that was interested in reserving the date. The woman that I was talking to for the catering literally told me to hold on a second, and I heard her say something like, "I know we don't normally refund deposits, but can we do it for her?" And there was a little bit of back and forth that I couldn't catch before a man came on the phone and informed me that I'd be receiving my deposit back in full and wished me the best in the future. I'm at a loss, and while I felt incredibly honoured and grateful, I couldn't help but laugh when I hung up that time. The DJ only refunded me half of my deposit, but that was the cheapest deposit anyway, so I wasn't incredibly hurt by that loss. All deposits were stated as non-refundable in our contracts, so even though I'm giving over 6 months notice, they didn't have to give me anything back, so I was very grateful for what I was given. I used the money to help secure the lease for our new place, and the rest will just help pad my bank account until I'm back at work. Sam's also been helping me apply for all the support and aid that our new state offers for single mothers. While I was handling vendors, Sam was going online and changing my passwords and locking down everything. Bank accounts, credit cards, social media accounts, utility accounts, emails, everything I forgot to list here, all the works. And it was while she was doing this that she discovered that Nate was still logged into his Apple account on my laptop. I knew his password and he hadn't changed it yet, so she logged in and got to snooping while I continued changing passwords and doing stuff like transferring half of Nate and my shared funds into my personal bank account. Well, she found exactly what she needed to get Nate away from me and my baby for good. Oh my god. To make an already long story somewhat shorter, she found found some text between Nate and Kayla that definitely hinted to a sexual relationship that happened when they were teenagers. Stuff like, remember when we used to do XYZ, or even stuff like, I bet OP doesn't do ABC as good as I did. There's a lot more stuff, but for my own sanity, I'm not going to be repeating it. It's unclear if this relationship is still going on now, but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it is. In fact, in hindsight, I highly suspect that it is. I couldn't stomach reading through everything, so I just had Sam screenshot everything she thought was important and hold on to it so that I could give it to my new lawyer that I was planning on finding closer to our new city. Didn't it say that Nate and Kayla are twins? Twin siblings? And it looks like they've been in a relationship or still are? And they're siblings? No. This is one of the most ridiculous sagas I think we've ever read, which leads me to finding a new lawyer. I contacted the lawyer Sam put me in touch with, and I explained that I planned on leaving the state. She had actually told me initially that it would help with the case, and she was surprised and pleased to hear that I was following through with it. She told me that she didn't know anybody personally in my new city, but she asked around with a couple of her colleagues and gave me a few recommendations from them for lawyers in the new area that I could try. The first one that I reached out to never called me back, but the second one seems absolutely perfect. He was appalled by the situation when I gave him a quick rundown of the events. Yeah, very understandably. I'm also appalled, and if we hadn't already discussed his fees, I think he would have taken the case for free drama when I finally told him about the evidence of incest. Oh my freaking god. Let me know how you're going in the comments, guys. So after I checked work, cybersecurity, wedding deposits, and new lawyer off my to-do list, Sam and I started apartment hunting. I was terrified that we wouldn't be able to find anything as quick as I needed, but Sam enlisted the help of all of my friends, and I don't even know all the details of how, but one of my friends managed to find a 3-bedroom unit on the main level of an upper-level duplex. It's owned by a private landlord who lives upstairs, but he's a truck driver and is literally gone all the time. He only charges enough rent to cover his expenses, not make profit. And the apartment was just renovated, so it's real nice. It was a literal miracle. This is so wild. I did not expect that. Like a lot of the comments, I was thinking, well, hey, maybe you should marry Kayla because you're prioritizing Kayla over your own fiance. But yeah, I didn't expect this. The weekend I posted about in my life update was the weekend that we moved. Some of you guys might have guessed that based on the details that I was obviously leaving out. All of my friends came over to help Sam and I pack and give me one last pampering before we left and the baby arrived. We did the baby shower on Friday. I got to open all of my gifts, but 2 of my friends took care of the packaging and mailing the smaller items to our new place so that we could save room in the U-Haul. Saturday, I was sent away to be pampered while everybody packed up all of our stuff. Sunday night, we got to the hotel because Sam's apartment was literally empty, and Monday morning, we left for a new state. We spent 4 days unpacking and setting up our new home. I wrote that life update from the floor of our baby girl's new nursery after putting together the crib that my grandparents got for me with tears in my eyes. When I say everything felt too good to be true, I truly meant it. I was so overwhelmed with peace sitting in a room that I had full control over. I didn't have to worry about what Nate thought about the sheets for the crib, or the themed pictures I decided to put on the wall. There was no feeling of anxiety wondering whose input I was getting. I was able to do whatever I wanted for my baby girl, and it was freeing. Nate had no idea I left the state until about a week after I did so. At that point, I hadn't spoken to him since around a week after everything went down, which was just to tell him to take my number off his Walmart account. He said that he did and asked again if we could meet and talk, but I ignored him. This is so wild that Nez is awake. She cannot believe this. Oh my god, I forget how cute Nez is. Actually, no I don't. I never forget how cute she is. But I'm still surprised at how cute she is. Okay, let's keep moving. He found out that I left the state because I guess Kayla had been driving by Sam's apartment randomly. It's kind of on Kayla's way home from work, so it's not like she was going completely out of her way. But she would have had to take about a 3-minute detour to get into the neighborhood. After she drove by twice and didn't see either mine or Sam's car, she reported it to Nate. He tried to come by Sam's apartment to figure out what was going on, only to be met with the maintenance and cleaners preparing the unit for new renters. I guess one of the neighbors told him they saw us packing up the unit, and he called damn near everyone I knew before he somehow pieced together that I left the state, but still didn't know exactly where. He tried contacting me again at that point, but I ignored him just like I had been. He tried telling me that I couldn't leave with his child, that I had to come back to work out custody. I had my lawyer reach out to him and inform him that custody would be handled in the baby's home state, which will now be XY. My lawyer also reminded him that any communication situation moving forward can be done through him. Nate didn't like that one bit, but my lawyer really didn't like Nate. So he just threatened him with some legal stuff that I didn't fully understand and got him to back off. My lawyer had told me that even without moving out of state, evidence of Nate having a sexual relationship with his sister is enough to get any and all custody revoked by any sane judge. I can only imagine, because it could be used to argue that he's unwell in more than one capacity. Apparently, incest is also a felony in some states, so I guess maybe if this got out in court, criminal charges could be brought up against them. I'm not entirely sure how that would all work, to be honest, but I don't really want that to happen. I just want Nate away from me and my baby. After that, it was a fairly uneventful month. I was getting frequent checks with my new OB, who was informed of the situation. We put every precaution in place to make sure that Nate and Kayla didn't come anywhere near my records or the OB office or the hospital. I did make a baby post when she arrived, but for those who didn't read, I'll copy it here. When my little one finally decided to make her appearance, it was a long, stressful labour that ended in a C-section to avoid any potential further complications, but she made it healthy and strong, 6 pounds, 9 ounces, 19.5 inches, and you'll be pleased to know that she was given my top choice of first and middle name, and she has my last name. The day after she was born, my lawyer sent Nate's new lawyer some paperwork that basically stated all the evidence that we were prepared to present in court to support our case that he would be an unfit parent and request for his rights to custody be revoked. We then gave him the opportunity to avoid having the nature of his relationship with Kayla come to light by voluntarily giving up his rights. My lawyer said that if his lawyer is any good at his job, he'll advise Nate to give up his rights and avoid court because there's no chance he'll win anything worth the scandal. Hell, his lawyer might even drop him so as not to be associated with the scandal. Obviously, I don't know what the conversation with Nate's lawyer looked like, but after a week or so, we received word that he would agree to terminate his rights. From there, Sam handled my lawyer for the most part while he did all the necessary paperwork and filings. The whole process from birth to hearing took about 6 weeks. When it came time to go to court this past week, Sam came with me for support and we left the baby with our mum. Nate came in person and had the audacity to bring Kayla with him. Oh my god. I genuinely don't know what was running through his mind when he made that decision, and I don't want to know. He tried to talk to me, but I ignored him with Sam's help. I didn't hear or see any of what they were talking about or doing, but Sam told me that Kayla kept on giving me nasty and dirty looks while they were talking. So much so that at one point when a cop was walking down the hall, he noticed her glaring at me and came over and just double-checked to make sure that our hearing was civil and that I was okay. And I'm sure I looked visibly shaken also. I think he was headed to a different courtroom or something, but the fact that he noticed and stopped to talk to me says a lot. After that, Sam said she saw Kayla head to the bathroom. She did not come back before we went in for the hearing. Our hearing was held in private, so the sisters had to wait outside in the hall. Everything with the judge was fairly straightforward. He asked us both a few questions and confirmed with Nate that he was giving up his rights voluntarily. Nate kept on looking at me like he was waiting for me to backtrack or say that I changed my mind and wanted him to be in my daughter's life, but I just stared at him with as little emotion as I could muster, even though I felt like I wanted to scream and cry and break something. He eventually confirmed that he wanted to give up his rights because he felt he needed to work on himself before he could take care of a child. I don't know how much of his speech he actually believed. It sounded very rehearsed. If I had to guess, I bet after the hearing he went home acting and feeling like the victim. I'm sure him and his entire family are painting me out like some sort of witch who stole his child straight out from under him. That's the feeling I got from both of them when I left without saying a word. Oh yeah, 100%. They would be making themselves the victim in every situation ever. I really don't care though, as somebody has suggested I change my phone number after court. They have no way to contact me. Could they come and stalk me here in my new city? Sure, I guess so. I don't get the feeling that they're gonna do that though. I really think I blindsided Nate with how quick I went nuclear with this whole situation. I don't think he expected me to polish up my spine and hold my ground this firmly. He definitely didn't expect me to move out of state so quick. Nate's a dumbass who his twin sister and made all of the wrong choices to ruin his own life, sure. But he doesn't seem like the type of person to risk prison time. He knows he's in more ways than one, and he knows that having the evidence that I have makes it so easy to discredit him if he tries to come after me for anything. Nate seems more like the type of person that will just try to forget about all of this and find another, maybe more naive woman to manipulate, which honestly might concern me more than if he kept on bothering me. So if anybody has any recommendations on what I could do to protect people from him in the future, while also also not allowing him to continue taking up space in my life going forward? I'd love your ideas, but I fear I may have to wash my hands of this for my own mental health. I do have cameras and everything else set up in case Nate or Kayla do try anything also. One of my new co-workers' husbands is a police officer. I met her at an outing event that I was invited to meet my new colleagues before I started, and we really hit it off. I've already explained to her the situation. She told me that if I ever need any help with anything to just let her know. I'll be starting back at work next week. My new office shares the building with the daycare centre, so on the days that Sam or my mum are busy, I'll just bring my daughter with me and drop her off there while I'm working. My mum will be moving into her apartment in the coming weeks. The current plan is for Sam to live with me for a year or two, and then she wants to find her own place again. I will keep this apartment that we have for as long as the landlord will have me, because I think it's just perfect for me while I get myself used to a new normal as a single mother. It kind of feels surreal now that everything's over. For the last 6 weeks, I've always felt like there was something to do. A lawyer to respond to, a baby to feed or change, a password to change that I missed, paperwork to fill out for my new office. But after the hearing, it was like everything settled. My friends are all coming out today to take me out and celebrate while my mum watches over the little one. Even my new friend from work will join us. I'm really excited. And for the last 2 days, it's just been peaceful overall, I think. And actually seeing Nate again brought up a lot of feelings I hadn't actually processed since everything went down, which my therapist and I were kind of expecting, so we luckily already had a session booked for the day after the hearing. But we noticed that my brain kind of shut down and disassociated from Nate right away. Whenever I thought about him and what he's done, I felt nothing but indifference. I never truly processed the disgust or the betrayal or the heartbreak. I immediately moved into protective mama bear mode and I focused solely on my daughter. But seeing him and knowing that it's finally over, it brought everything crashing back to me. The full weight of the sadness and the betrayal really hit me. The fact that he'd likely been manipulating and cheating on me for our entire relationship finally registered. And the fact that it was his own twin sister just adds to all of this. I will never know the full truth, like if they really did each other while we were together, or if they were just using me to have a baby like some people suggested. And I have to learn to be okay with that. Most of all though, I'm just feeling so defeated. It's hard not to feel like an idiot for wasting 3 years of my life with this revolting waste of a person. It's also hard to not be disgusted with myself for ever loving him once. But rest assured, I'm actively seeking help with my therapist, so I know these feelings are temporary. It's just so hard right now. I know some of you will understand. But I just want to thank everybody who's reached out to me on the comments or privately to offer advice or support. And a special shout out and thanks to this person who's been a sounding board in my chats for the last few weeks. This whole community truly means the world to me, and I don't have the words to express what you've done for me. I know that I would not have been able to get this far without the support of thousands of strangers. And I know that Nate wasn't expecting it either. I've never been one to put myself out there like this, but it was so much more worth it than I ever imagined. So thank you again. Thank you everyone. And to anyone who just hopped on this train now, welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy the ride and feel free to stick around. And lastly, the state of the world's not ideal, so I'm always up for sharing positivity. I love reading about what's going well for you guys too. It shouldn't just all be about me. So just like I did before, if you made it this far and feel so inclined, share something happy, something that's going well for you. And I hope life is good because you deserve it to be. Oh my god, I don't even know what to say. Like this comment says, ma'am, you lived a lifetime movie and got out alive. I'm so happy that you're in a good situation and your baby girl's here healthy with strong women to raise her. Seriously though, you could write a book. Yeah, it does feel like a movie, doesn't it? This is unbelievable. This comment says, I'm so glad you're free. And ew, Nate. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. It's so good that OP can eventually just sort of move on and stop thinking about them. OP doesn't have to see them because of custody or anything. OP can just move on. That's really nice and that'll make a huge difference because this is the sort of stuff that you would not want to be reminded of. Not too often anyway. I like this comment. Holy like holy freaking I'm glad that you and your baby are safe. 100%. Let's get into the next part, which is called So There's More. And that was 5 days ago. Hi everybody, long time no see. I hope everybody's 2026 is going as well as it can be, all things considered. I genuinely thought my last post would be the last of it, but a lot of people have commented asking for another update, and honestly a lot has happened, so here goes. Shortly after I posted my final update, I got logged out of this account somehow. And because I made a brand new email to create a throwaway account in the height of the craziest experiences of my life, I never saved the passwords for either. I thought they were automatically saved to my Apple passwords, but apparently apparently not. Anyway, trying to get back in just wasn't a priority since I was starting back at work and heading into the holidays with a new baby, so I elected to leave it alone. But Sam recently helped me log back in because there's actually quite a few things to share with you, so you can thank her for me being able to give you this update. I made a Google Voice number and I sent a few of the most damning screenshots to Nate and Kayla's mother, a cousin, and Nate's best friend Adam. Wow, okay. I did also manage to track down a number that I had for their dad, but he lives across the country and hasn't really seen them since they were young. I've never actually met him in person, only video calls, so I wasn't even sure that he would care. But I added a simple message that said, "Hi, this is me. I'm not sure what has been said about me, but I want to be very clear that the explicit reason that I left Nate is due to his inappropriate relationship with his sister. I find this dynamic disgusting, and I've made the choice to not allow such influences around me or my daughter. I do miss you and wish you all the best." Adam texted me back almost immediately, and here's a copy of his text with names replaced. "Hi OP, thanks for reaching out. I hope you're doing okay. I'm really sorry for how things turned out. It's really f***ed up what Nate did. I grilled him about what happened when you left and he finally told me everything. I haven't seen him since and I don't plan to, and if you ever need anything, let me know. But I understand if you don't. Good luck, OP." I did send him back a message letting him know that I truly appreciate it, and I told him that I'd reach out if I needed anything. Nate's dad did reply with a simple thank you for letting me know, but that was it. Nate's mother and cousin did not respond before I logged out of the account. Here is the aftermath as I've heard through the grapevine, as chronologically as possible. Nate lost his job right around Thanksgiving. Kayla got a new boyfriend also around Thanksgiving that she moved in with her after 1 week. Their stepmother made a crazy post on Facebook bashing their mother for how she raised her kids. Their mother dyed her hair red. I genuinely don't know how this fits into the aftermath, but I just thought this was absolutely hilarious. Nate was evicted from our house in January and moved in with Kayla and her new boyfriend. Wow, okay. Kayla announced early in March that she's pregnant. Who's the father? Some people are telling me that based on her due date, my daughter's first birthday. Are you kidding me? This would likely have happened right after when she met the new boyfriend. Or, oh my god. Kayla announced her pregnancy at their cousin's wedding, the same cousin I sent the screenshots to. After the pregnancy announcement, the cousin posted 4 pictures on Facebook. 2 of the screenshots I sent her, a screenshot of my message explaining why I left, and a picture of Kayla announcing her pregnancy. She added the caption, "I can't wait to see how Kayla plans on ruining another cousin's wedding in June." Oh my god! The drama is juicy. She's already used affair and pregnancy reveal. Time to get creative. Side note, I didn't know people really still air out their laundry on Facebook like this. After seeing the Facebook post, Kayla's new boyfriend kicked them both out. He demanded a paternity test on the baby, yeah. Kayla refused and basically called him a piece of shit for not trusting her. Why would he trust her? It sounds like he's refusing any responsibility unless he has proof the baby's his, and rightfully so. Nate and Kayla are back living with their mum for now. Nate still does not have a job, and their mother still has red hair. Honestly, I was worried that hearing about the drama and the aftermath from friends and mutuals would drain my energy, but it's actually kind of refreshing and humorous to know that their lives are falling apart while I'm thriving. And I am. I settled into my position at work so easily. My co-workers were very welcoming and I even made friends with a couple of them. Sam watches my daughter on Friday night so I can go out after work. Normally I meet up with some friends and we all go out for dinner or drinks. Sometimes a karaoke or bingo night. Sam and I joined a book club that meets at the local library on Monday nights. I did reach out to Adam again around Christmas to wish him a happy holiday and New Year. He gave me a rundown of what's been happening and we've kept in loose contact since. Mostly we just send each other posts on Instagram and catch up once or twice a week. We both enjoy Marvel and the MCU a lot, so we've been watching the new season of Daredevil together. I haven't seen the newest episode yet though, so no spoilers. Sam keeps on teasing me and saying that I should invite Adam up for a weekend. He casually mentioned always wanting to check out a cool museum type place that's near where I live now. She thinks that was his way of telling me that he wants to visit me. Last I knew, Adam was seeing someone, but that was back last year when I left, so that could have easily changed. I'm not sure what to think or if I'm even interested in Adam or a relationship in general, the way that Sam's implying. My baby's only 8 months old, and I think I'm just going to focus on her for now. And she's doing amazing, hitting all of her milestones and just being an absolute angel. She was sleeping through the night already at around 3 months old, and I'm told that that's an absolute miracle. I could not have asked for a more beautiful child. And that's all I have for this rambling post right now. My lunch break at work is just about wrapping up, so I need to post this and get back to work. But best believe I'll be back to let you know if I I hear any more news about Nate and Kayla. I hope you're all doing well. Oh my god. Okay, there's one more update. The top comment says, I really hope she isn't pregnant with her twin brother's baby. That'll be super gross. I'm so glad that you're thriving and your baby's doing so well. Hopefully karma hits Kayla and Nate. By the sounds of it, it already is. Guys, I'm at a loss for words. This has been a roller coaster ride of emotions. How do I even process what we've read today? Please let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And let's get into the final update. It says, I'm back and this was 3 days ago. Hello everyone. I genuinely did not think I'd be back so soon, but I knew I couldn't wait to share this news. You are not gonna believe it. Kayla got the paternity test. Oh, here we go. For anybody that was willing to bet on Nate being the father, time to pay up. Nate is not the father. Unfortunately for her ex, who I'll call Brad from now on since I'm sure he'll be a new recurring character in this saga, this means there will be a custody battle. From what Adam said, it sounds like Kayla's delusional ass wants to try for full custody. Can't wait to see how that plays out for her. We'll find out in August. Fortunately for baby Joffrey, I know Nate isn't the father, but I'm sticking with the nickname. This means they still have a chance at having one sane parent. Keyword there is chance, since I don't know much about Brad. Seeing as he moved Kayla in within a week of meeting her, I have a feeling he's not the brightest bulb in the box. In other words, Adam has read all of your comments and subsequently mine, and has asked when he should plan to take time off work and come visit. It's still a ways out, but I told him I like the idea of him planning to come for Memorial Day weekend. Sam has already told me that her and our mum will watch the baby for me. Actually, when she heard me tell Adam, that sounds like a plan. Let me just make sure that I have childcare covered. She grabbed my phone and told him she has childcare covered. Depending on how that visit goes, we've already hinted at planning for him to come visit in August to celebrate the little one's first birthday and see the new Spider-Man movie together. We're keeping things strictly casual. We're not dating nor exclusive. I told him that I'm not even sure how I feel about him or how comfortable I would be with any labels. I explicitly told him that if he meets a woman that he may be interested in, he should absolutely pursue it. He said in no uncertain terms that I'm the only woman that he's currently interested in, and he doesn't see that changing anytime soon. But also assured me that he's absolutely not trying to put any pressure on me, and he's perfectly fine if I decide to just keep him as a piece of my support system. You guys, I feel like a giddy teenager again. That's pretty much all I have for an update. This feels like a weird stopping point, but I'm a little bit tipsy from drinks with my co-workers, and I don't want to ramble on. So have a good weekend, besties. Edit, I just realised I didn't mention that Kayla apparently went to get the test done about 2 weeks ago, but did not tell anyone until she got the results yesterday. And for now, that's the entire saga. I'm assuming that OP will make more updates in the future. I will definitely keep an eye on this saga. That was so unbelievably fun to read. That was probably the easiest episode that I've recorded in ages. I was on the edge of my seat this entire time. That was one of the wildest episodes I've ever read by far. This was so wild, and I'm so happy that we've got it all in the one episode. I might even watch back this episode. That was such a wild ride. I did not expect any of this to happen. Like, we knew that Nate was prioritizing Kayla over OP, and there were people in the comments joking that Nate should just get with Kayla. But I still didn't expect it. That's horrifying, wild, terrifying, and I'm so happy that Nez is still in the basket. Thank you, Nez. I'll put a very recent photo of Jin on the screen because Jin hasn't been in the episodes as much, but Jin is happy and healthy and a beautiful little demon. Okay, everybody, let me know what you think in the comments, and let's read something wholesome. At my wedding, my cat will be the flower girl, and she'll be guided down the aisle with a laser pointer. That's such a cute idea. That would be so beautiful. I feel like if you practiced it a few times, it'd actually work. Nez would definitely be the flower girl. That is so beautiful. The comment of the day today goes to Amy Katz. Nez is disgusted by the roommate and her boyfriend and turns her back on them. No toe beans for you. Yeah, Nez is so disgusted that she can't even look in this direction. She says, no, you don't even deserve to have me facing you. No toe beans for you. That's such a good comment. Thank you for the comment. And thank you for the support, everybody. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you very soon. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!